The girl is reading vividly.
But the audience in front is solely a group of hypocritical men. Some are breathing heavily, some have flushed faces, yet each one is both enchanted and enjoying it. Only the girl on stage, each time she finishes reading, she rushes to vomit. It turns out she was fostered by her uncle since childhood, but her uncle is a pervert.
He likes to collect some indecent books and then forces her aunt to read them aloud to various powerful figures.
If there is any resistance, she would be locked in the basement and tortured. Soon after, the aunt hanged herself due to unbearable humiliation, and the girl was forced to become her aunt's successor. Under her uncle's close confinement and various tortures, she grew into a delicate young lady. Every day after that, I would go to the palace
To read for those noble.
Sometimes I was forced to perform scenes from books with puppets. Such days caused the young lady great pain, but under her uncle's strict supervision, she didn't even have the right to die.
She laughed like a walking corpse.
However, on this day, a new maid named Pearl arrived. Pearl was a similar age to the young lady. When the young lady had nightmares, Pearl would mimic their mother, lightly patting her shoulder and saying low.
Pearl's kindness and innocence endeared her to the young lady.
As a result, Pearl was envied by other maids, who often stole her shoes. But the young lady always stood up for her. Gradually, the two girls became as close as sisters.
The young lady frequently shared.
Miss often spent time with Susie, sharing her overflowing collection of shoes and her countless pieces of jewelry. Along with beautiful high-end outfits, Susie's presence brought a ray of sunshine to the Miss life. But until that day, the arrival of a young count changed everything. The count was both a gentleman and the Miss quickly fell for him. The two often sneaked out for date and had Susie watch for them. The count had ulterior motives, often touching the Miss inappropriately. But the naive Miss completely misunderstood the count. Susie wanted to be by the Miss side at all times, but was often sent away by the count. Sometimes to fetch paint, Susie hurriedly ran back with the paint, only to catch them in an embarrassing situation. The count was furious with Susie for ruining his chances.
In a fit of rage, he dragged her to a secluded place,
Harshly humiliating her, while accusing her of not giving him money. This statement left everyone confused. The film's first major twist arrived. It turned out this was all a scheme. Susie was born in a slum. She could easily discern counterfeit bills, and as she grew older, stealing money became second nature. As she grew up, she made a living by stealing and cheating.
It was barely enough to support her whole family.
However, that year the count found her. He said there was a wealthy young lady. If she married the lady, she could inherit a huge fortune. After marriage, he'd find a reason to send the lady to a mental hospital. That way, the money would be theirs, and Pearl would receive a hefty payment. But greedy Pearl was not satisfied. She agreed to accept 50,000. As for me, I'll give you an additional 100,000 besides jewelry and clothes. The two reached an agreement. From then on, the count personally trained Pearl, turning a greedy, selfish girl into a facade of a kind, naive young woman. She was then sent to work as a maid for the lady. When the time was right,
all Pearl had to do was facilitate the count's marriage to the lady.
but through time spent together,
Pearl discovered that the lady was very naive and trusted her unconditionally.
she felt a pang of guilt for deceiving the lady, so she repeatedly obstructed the count's plans. But the count did not intend to give up. He even threatened Pearl's family. With no choice, Pearl had to continue helping the count. That night, the lady confided in Pearl, saying the count had proposed to her. I'm sure if I should agree, because the young lady doesn't know what kind of feelings she has for the count. Susie dared not persuade the young lady, had to insincerely say, marrying the count will surely be happy. But the young lady unexpectedly got angry, slapping Susie fiercely, only because Susie's feelings for her had surpassed sisterly affection. She asked this to confirm Susie's feelings. However, the count's proposal might be a new way out for the young lady. Thus, the young lady accepted the count's proposal, but her only request was to take Susie along.
The count agreed. Coincidentally, her uncle had to be away for a week.
This was a rare opportunity for freedom. You have a week of freedom. But always remember the basement matter. The young lady disregarded her uncle's warning and went to Japan overnight with the count, staying in a remote temple. The young lady thought she was finally free, but the cost of freedom was somewhat heavy. They held a simple ceremony in the temple, even though they officially got married. But after the wedding night,